Welcome, everybody, to the Plumes of Hazard. I am your affable, illustrious, magnificent host, the Angstful Vapor. Here to my left tonight is Fubaka, lovely and talented as always. And right down there below me, running on island time, is your boy Mass Blast 19.
I believe that I actually was on time because it is not late until you run the intro.
What are you talking about? So you're like 8 days late from last week.
How's it going? You said you had to help a buddy that broke down crying.
Get me the fucking chat link. How about that?
It's a youtube.com/.
Yeah, why don't you order a chat link on Uber Eats? I got you.
Why don't you? Hey, why don't you vape?
Ooh, wait a minute. You can't say that.
Why aren't you illegal? Why don't you illegal?
Dude, you're gonna be left with bath salt flavor when all this is said and done. Okay,
those are pretty good. Bath salt flavors are actually the original Vapor Shark Mountain Dew flavor. That's what those are. Because I had it. That's what I had back in the day. So, yeah.
Thanks, Corey. He said the best vaping show on YouTube. Yeah, we do still occasionally cover vaping. I did notice as the intro was rolling. Oh, by the way,
Chad, I mean, would you rather us pretend to be interested in the shit that's coming out of China?
Yeah. Chad, did you notice how flawless that intro was? Come on now. I remember to unmute the meeting and me at the same time. Yeah, or I didn't have to be outside sweating today, so back down to my normal hat, not my do-rag. You don't see that very often, but yeah, you have seen it a couple times in the last month or two. That's for sure.
Dude, it was 94 fucking degrees today.
Oh yeah,
caliente.
When it was 70 yesterday, and it's going to be like 67 tomorrow. I was just like, it's October 2nd, man. My fucking AC had to be turned back on today.
Yeah.
Lucky those who actually get to turn their AC off. Ever.
Yeah, that's a you problem.
Yeah, it's usually November before I at least full-time turn the heater on.
I've had my sweatpants like at the top of my drawer just waiting.
Let me see. Let me count how many times I turned off my AC last year.
Was that because of a power outage?
And that was because of a hurricane. Oh, man. Corey, thanks, man. He said, I watch every vaping show on YouTube, and we're the only ones he's got to watch live. They like that.
Nice. There's a Florida starter pack that includes a spatula to get your nuts off your leg.
That means a lot to me about watching us live.
It does.
Yeah, because tonight is probably the night where he has done every drug possible, drank every liquor possible, and vaped a dank THC cartridge on top of it. That's the only way he can watch us live.
It's truth.
It makes it fun.
Of course, I'm under 2 blankets and the boiler is kicking on. Man, damn, where the hell are you? I thought you were
seriously,
dude. Though it's cold in the Northwest right now.
Send some of that shit down here, man. Come on.
Yeah, I was just talking to Colin, and he's like, "Yeah, it's cold here today."
So yeah, but what's cold up there though?
Like 40s, 50s.
Oh, that's chilly.
Yeah,
it's chilly anyway.
No, it gets pretty fucking cold out there.
Yo, last winter was shit down here.
September? Well, I guess we're in early October now.
Last winter was like, Ocala is getting temperatures in the 40s. We're like, it's still fucking like 60 down here. Come on, man. What the hell? It was, at a point in time, like Florida was the only state that didn't have, and even like some of the panhandle might have come close to getting snow, but
yeah,
it was snowing in every other fucking state. It was that cold everywhere.
Dude, Chuff out in Vegas had fucking snow that snowed and it stuck overnight.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Remember he sent us the picture of like his patio table with like a sheet of snow. I'm like, snowpocalypse.
It's the snowpocalypse.
Yeah. I told him, like, go draw a dick boat in it.
I will say the only thing as close to that I've ever seen down here was there were flurries, but that was years ago, and it was like it had to be just right with rain.
Yeah,
and you kind of like oh, I saw a flurry, and then it just fucking disappeared.
Yeah.
People were losing their shit.
Well,
The snow-
that is one of the key like parts of snow, right? Is you got to have that
Sure.
the fine precipitation for it to freeze and those stuff. And unfortunately, even in North Texas, where it definitely gets cold enough to snow, a lot of times
Yeah.
it won't because our raindrops are that big.
Big fucking yeah, big
Yeah, they're
blob.
like, nah.
Well, the closest to snow you get in Florida is when hail the size of a fucking baseball
Yeah.
comes down and blasts your shit in.
Exactly.
And then
Same
it
here.
lays on the ground, and then it looks like snow. But your roof is fucked, your trees are fucked, your
It looks
car
like
is
snow, but that's
definitely
because everybody's
fucked.
windshield is all crumbled on the ground. Look, it's sparkly.
Look, Mama, fucking Santa Claus shit his pants. But
Thank you, Lead Pipe, for differentiating. Hello, Addy Tooney, gentlemen, and chat. Right, there's 3 different spots here now. I don't know where we fit in, but because we weren't really listed there, but that's okay. Hello, by the way, to Addy Tooney. Hello, Horror Festy, Rick Carr. Who else am I missing? Duro, Tim. Corey, we already said hello to you. Good. I think so.
Oh, speaking of lead pipes, I got this shirt in the mail the other day.
Oh.
nice.
Oh, look at there.
That's
I
awesome.
see iron, lead, zinc.
That's awesome.
That is good. Well done. Wait a minute. Shouldn't Mercury be in there? Come on. Mercury's different.
No, Mercury went solo. Mercury went Beyonce on everybody.
You know what? They should have had the periodic table Mercury sign and have like the dude with a Freddie Mercury mustache
Yeah, for sure.
or the teeth. That would have been
He
perfect.
definitely needs
That
to
is a
think
missed
about it.
opportunity.
I completely
Patent that
agree.
shit.
I almost cracked the
So,
joke.
I
gonna
wanna
ask
thank-
if- you said he went solo. I was going to crack a joke and ask if he got
Yeah.
AIDS or something and died.
Oh god.
but then you took the
So,
joke in a
speaking-
nicer way.
Speaking of AIDS, we want to thank our not sponsors, Amazon.com, for taking a cool device like the button,
The dot thing.
And-
Yeah.
making it obsolete. Thanks a lot, assholes.
What happened?
Oh,
They stopped supporting them.
Oh,
They didn't
yeah,
want to.
yeah.
They didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay their coders to support the API anymore. Literally,
Yeah.
something that started out as a joke that took off in 2015, they canned already in 2019.
I have a fuck Amazon story too. Actually, from about an hour ago, I was
Yeah.
trying to order because it just occurred to me that in the moving process, my sister has my X-Acto knives, and good luck getting those back from her.
Your X-Acto knives? Like X-Acto knives?
He's got a set. He's kind of like Dexter, you know.
2 sets.
No, I just had like 2. I had a number 1 and number 2 blade.
Oh, okay.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, let me go order another couple on Amazon now. For the last, like, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years now, I run every fucking Amazon product link through FakeSpot. And like 6 out of the 7 X-Acto product pages were like, at the highest grade was a C.
See, yeah,
Because mainly, like, what's FakeSpot? It means like there are bullshit reviews that get written. Amazon likes to intervene and get rid of negative reviews, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even sure about the authenticity of the product. So
true.
I
What is the
ordered
name of the
mine.
service you're using?
FakeSpot. It's a
FakeSpot.
website. They have a
Yeah.
they have a plugin for Chrome, but I don't
Yeah.
use that
Yeah,
shit.
you can dump it right in a fake spout.
I've not
Um,
used this thing.
it's great. Actually, it's saved me a few times. But yeah, so I ended up just ordering it from Michael's
Mm.
for like $2 more for peace of mind. So I'm not getting a Chinesian blade.
Yeah, nobody wants that. So I never got one of the dots. I always thought the little buttony things were a funny idea. 'Cause for me, it kind of stopped at the joke because there's nothing that I order on Amazon that regularly that I need a button for.
Yeah. So I got these when they first came out. They were alpha testing them,
Mm-hmm.
and the biggest gripe back then was that you could not digitally assign them to a specific item.
Right.
Had to get, so this is my dog food, and you had to get, and I have a few other ones, but the main reason I got them was because I cracked one open
Mm-hmm.
and turned it into a doorbell.
Right.
So for the longest time back in the day, I had one of these in the front acting like a doorbell. You push it, IFTT, or just send you a message, whatever. So it was working great. That still works. I mean, I don't have it as a doorbell anymore, but to order items that are not going to be close enough in the schedule to do shipping fucking schedule shit, which was like the dog food. Sometimes, it's pretty close now, but
yeah, but
whatever.
Perfect. Yeah.
Not perfect. So, and the 35-pound bag. So it's not like I can just,
right.
I mean, it could sit for another week or so, whatever. And so they stopped supporting them at the beginning of September. So I pushed the button. I got a message on the Amazon cart that said, "Yo, shit did not get ordered. Order it by yourself." So I had to go on there and order it. Yeah. So, but now I can still, reuse this one and make it into something cool. Like I push it and my computer comes on. I don't know.
Something.
Fucking flush the toilet.
I have an interesting Amazon story as well, humorously enough. So yesterday I was looking around. I'm looking for a new car, and I was comparison shopping. And I happened across a service from Amazon that I don't even think is new. It's just not one that I knew about. That you click a button on your app or whatever, and they deliver it not to your home, but to your car. And they have access to your car. They open your trunk and put it in your trunk.
Yep.
I had never seen this.
Yes.
That is not comforting whatsoever.
No, it's not for me either.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know that they were demoing a while back the ability for them to open the door to your house.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like you gave them
same
access
service
to your house, and they can open the door, put it down, close the door, and lock it behind them, kind of thing.
Yeah, and all you see on the news is these yahoos that are delivering for Amazon taking their fucking vans and run over people's yard gnomes and fucking basketball hoops and cars and all kinds of shit. And it's great because they probably delivered the camera that just videotaped them doing that. So, I mean, it's priceless. I did see yesterday that UPS did get the go-ahead to start using drones to deliver packages, but
that's been like a rumor for years, right?
Yeah, but they actually got authorization from the government to do it.
Really?
It's going to be about another year or two before they can get full autonomous. Mm-hmm. Right now, you have to do it line of sight.
Yeah.
So, but in a neighborhood, you park down the street, and I don't know how quickly it would be versus the actual truck going and delivering, but shit, you have 4 drones. Just go take those packages while I'm driving down the road while I'm watching them.
Mark, freaking gross. Hello, Mark. Top of the morning to you, my friend.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, you're right. So like just hanging out in the neighborhood, just waiting for the little buzz to go by and follow it to the house. Yeah, I mean it's bad enough that people doing that to the trucks, but at least there's a human there, at least kind of recently or whatever, that they can watch for weird stuff going on. But
yep,
drones not so much. Mark just totally like, I can't even at this point. It's such a good idea. Speaking of drones, I keep getting this ad in Facebook, the interstitial ads in Facebook with that quote unquote indestructible drone. And when I get to it, it's almost always a spot and a lady like out for the evening with a bunch of girlfriends or whatever, and she's got a bat and she hits the drone, just whack, and just knocks it out of the air. Right. Every time I see that, I'm like, why does that lady have a bat? It's not like she was that good looking. She has to, keep the boys away all the time, and she's kind of. I don't know why she has a bat.
Yeah.
It's weird. So Tim, that is something I did for a while as well. I've got a buddy that lives nearby that I used to mooch off of his Amazon account as well, his Prime. But they killed that a while back. You can't add people under your account like that anymore.
What do you mean, like other people's addresses?
Yeah, that's correct.
You used to be able to, and you can't do it anymore.
I have like 15 addresses on.
Wait, are you talking about addresses that you are delivering to?
Yeah, like your added. So like my angsty account at Amazon used to be underneath his account.
Oh yeah. You're talking about kind of like how a parent could put their child while they were
Yes.
away at college under the Amazon account and not have to pay extra, but they
Right.
still receive the benefits of Prime.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had an issue. I have stuff sent to. I've had stuff sent to other people in the last 2 months.
No, you can still send it to other people. You just can't have a separate account. So like I couldn't be underneath Masty's account. Now he can still
Right.
send stuff to me, absolutely,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
And feel free, by the way. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because my thing is like, because I have the Amazon credit card too,
Yeah.
and so I prefer people like use my credit card for your purchase, like Venmo or PayPal me the money. I'm getting that 5%, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tim, it does still work. You were grandfathered in. You just can't do it anymore. Like you can't add a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So your cousin.
Well, and they
parent
made a
can't
big
do it
deal.
anymore.
They made a big deal about it because they were also removing kids that were away at college
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So
Right. But they want to get paid. Tim just said that USPS got the okay for widespread drone deliveries as well. Interesting.
I'll even get the money for that.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I mean, they've been operating at a loss forever. For flipping ever. So I was thinking of something. Obviously, last week we had a pretty big show. We had Alex on. We were talking about all the crazy stuff going on. And by the way, if you should definitely just at least be aware that they have the VTA specifically has filed lawsuits at the federal level on or in conjunction with or whatever. I think a store in Michigan, but I think a different store in Michigan has also filed suit in their state. So we said for a long time that was going to be the case, right? We kind of joked about it being locked up in litigation for a long time, and I think that's true, and I think it will be for a while. A lot of people are not going to be able to wait that out, specifically stores, right, that are running on kind of close, and they don't have the financial backing to continue operating, or not operating but still being in business, so to speak, if that makes sense. Just waiting. Especially in places where it's totally verboten at this point, right? I mean, like, most small businesses can't just exist on no business, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
I also did see on Facebook that that places like Chicago are basically shaking down non-Illinois companies shipping products that they deemed inappropriate to Chicago. They started making examples out of them. Not just big companies either, by the way. They made examples out of smaller ones as well. According to those comments that I was seeing in CASA, I think it was a CASA group that I was in. It may have been a different one. Anyway, so that stuff is still happening. You definitely should continue to contact your representatives. I actually got an email back from one of my representatives here in Texas. And it was not a total form letter. It was customized to what I wrote. So like somebody on the other end, I doubt it was the actual representative himself, right? I'm sure it was a staffer, but they actually did read what I wrote and address some of the things that I mentioned in my customized CASA thing that I sent out. So I replied and said, here, thank you for replying. And I said, please, see me as a resource to help educate yourself and others. I can point you in the right direction to documentation, to science, to people that are very active in this industry that could help educate you and or people that are around you. If you don't understand the tech, this is saving lives. Please represent me properly in the government. So, all of that said, I did want to say all those things that are definitely going on. It made me wonder. Do you remember when the whole registration thing first popped up? Right, we had a big push,
Yeah.
like we have now. Right, there's a big uproar and a lot of people upset, and a lot of people contacting representatives, and blah 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 blah. And then we joked here on the show about having advocacy burnout, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just hearing about it all day, every day. Similar sorts of things said. It all seems bad.
That and just it also ended up becoming more advocacy gossip than anything.
Mm-hmm.
How much infighting was there, and who was our little birdie on the inside giving us all that gossip?
Right. So it just makes me wonder how long this current uproar is gonna last before people get complacent or give up.
It'll last longer,
Yeah, but it's more serious now, right?
Here's the problem. Companies who are completely out of luck and are going out of business,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to spend any money.
Right.
They're not going to go further in debt, and other companies in states that it's still legal in,
mm-hmm.
they're not going to ship to those states. So they're going to be hurting too. They're not going to be spending any money on anything. That's the worst business decision you can make is go and spend money in advocacy. And yeah, I'm saying that because you go talk to anyone who runs a business and you say, oh yeah, well, this is what the market is doing. So I'm going to take, 10, 15 grand and spend it on advocacy on something that a fucking mayor can, or a governor can just say, fuck you. I'm going to stop.
I'm going to do
You're going to stop selling.
I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah. I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
Exactly. There go your 15 grand down the toilet.
It's like the 2 overpriced beers I bought at the ball game on Sunday.
Right. I'm going to turn
I got my money's worth, but
I'm going to bump myself up a little bit. Horror, thank you for telling me. I'll turn myself up a little bit. See if this is any better. Massey, I don't disagree with you in general, but I will say that some of them are. I wouldn't say any of them, and the reason I say that is because there's several of them that are filing suit in their states, not federal, but in their states, to get this stuff overturned. So they are throwing some money at it. It may not be advocacy, but they're doing the direct legal. They're pursuing legal options, which I think they should, because that's honestly it's about all we got going for us at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can advocate and we can pester our elected representatives until we're blue in the face, and we shouldn't, or we should rather. But the law and challenging these bullshit executive rules, that's about the only way you're going to get those overturned, right? No amount of advocacy and talking to my representative, like my U.S. House of Representative, I can talk to him until I'm blue in the face. But if my governor decided to put a statewide ban on it, my rep's not going to be able to do anything, right? That's a different animal. Same way with Mass, right? In Massachusetts, those guys they're straight out of business. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they give them no grace period. They're like, we're going to send cops to your shops.
Well done. That was good. You pulled that right out.
I watched the pilot a lot. Microprocesses.
Yeah. I was on a phone call today for hours with a bunch of people from Boston. It's painful as always.
Where you're just like, do you like apples?
Oh man, I think I've mentioned this in the show, but one of my good buddies that's from Mass, he's from like Boston, like South Boston, and he doesn't have much of an accent anymore, but a little bit. But he said one of the things that he had to weed himself out when he started working in the professional world was he caught himself saying the word DATA, so saying data, he would say dater.
So that's not beholden to Massachusetts, actually.
Oh, is that right?
That's like a white suburban people thing, because that's a thing here too. Like on Long Island, I remember the specific. I'll never forget this because my 8th grade English teacher had like one of the most offensive Long Island accents ever. And the neighboring town for me is called Mineola, right? And that's where like the PAL leagues and stuff. She called it Mineoler.
Mineoler.
Yeah, that was just our joke the entire year.
The accent, I would say the Long Island accent, at least the ones where you talk about offensive ones, the ones that I've heard that are pretty thick, it's not that dissimilar from a Mass accent. It's different, but it's
your stereotypical New Yorkers open their mouths a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, Mass is more through the nose, right?
Oh.
Hey, Colt's mom in chat just said she's from Mass, and you did it pretty well, by the way.
Thank you, dude. I had good practice. Like one of my friends went to school up in New Hampshire, and so I drove up there every so often on weekends to visit. And I'd spend the weekend. You give me enough alcohol, I'm making fun of everyone's accent to the point where it carried over when I came back home, and I'm just like, wow, I think I was talking more like them than me the whole weekend.
Tap the brakes. Yeah, Colt's mom. That's right. Drop the R that's there and add R's that aren't there. That's right. As opposed to the Southerners, and we just kind of draw out all the vowels and drop in.
In New York, it's caw keys. There's car keys.
Versus, yeah, exactly. So it's less through the nose, but similar, right? That's right.
Oh,
is that
by
right,
the way,
Addie? I haven't heard that. Do you know who they are? Addie, in case you're not reading chat, Addie just said that a couple of the big boys, like the big e-liquid companies, just signed on with VTA and brought in 1.5 mil. Damn. That's a lot.
Can I have some of that? Who needs cash money?
Whoneedscashmoney.com. That's interesting.
I can't get mango jewel pods and I need cash now. So yeah, that as of 1 p.m. today, you couldn't order stuff to be delivered. I may have given my brother and sister referral coupons to who don't vape and had their shit ordered to their place. So I'm good for a bit. When that runs out, I got people out of state, man. I know people.
That's right. That's right. You just said WADA. Joel just said WADA. And that reminds me of one of the guys that I really like. There's a YouTube channel called Bon Appetit. It's like from the magazine, right? It's been around for 100 years. Their YouTube channel is actually pretty cool. If you've never checked out their YouTube channel, you totally should, because there's a few good series on there that are really solid. Like there's a pastry chef lady that works for Bon Appetit that she recreates popular like snack foods and stuff and like makes the gourmet version of these things like from scratch, which is pretty interesting anyway. But the guy that I love on there, his name's Brad Leone, and his series is called It's Alive, and he does a lot of fermentation stuff. It's Alive. But he also does a bunch of other crap too. But every time he says water, he says Worder, like Wourder. He's from Jersey.
Worder, like okay. I don't even think New Jersey can take accountability for that. I know a Worder. His name is Ed Worder. He used to be like a guy on ESPN. Right. I don't know if he's still on ESPN. He does the NFL shit. Can I have a glass of Worder, Ed Worder?
Yeah. The Plumes of Accents. That's right. That's right. Festy's right. Ain't no mushmouth like South Carolina mushmouth. I would agree with that. But if you go a little farther south, you get some proper Southern talk. Everything just gets dragged out a little bit. A little more vowels. You drop the G at the INGs, and everything's a little softer.
Don't you be talking like one of them Yankee queers.
Yankee bastard. I have heard myself as a child, with like old family videos and stuff, talking. Oh my God. Did not realize.
You don't recognize yourself?
Yeah, I did not realize it was that thick back then, because it was normal. That's all I knew back then.
Hey, y'all, what y'all doing around here? Turn that camera off, Pop. Get your fat ass back here. I didn't say you could get
funny. Half the time I try to do Herbert the Pervert, my shit cracks. Yeah, that was smooth. Right? It's like...
It's so terrible. It's so awful.
It's so hard to do.
And so
smoothly.
Naked 100 was one. That's good.
Oh, Naked 100. Speaking of which, I'm ordering some of their salt from MBS right now.
Yeah.
25% off. And they're clearing out a bunch of their other flavored shit. Like they're selling some 60 mils of Naked for $8.50.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I've said this before, although it's been a while. Naked is honestly the best national juice brand I've had. Naked 100. Nasty.
Sorry, I'm back.
I was gonna say, I thought my shit died for a second. I'm like,
no.
I actually stopped moving, and I'm like, okay, Nasty's still moving. It's not me.
I'm still alive. I had my thing muted, so I was responding, but you weren't hearing me.
Had your thing muted.
It did not hit me. Yeah.
So I'm ordering a Brain Freeze, which is like their fruit menthol thingy.
Tim just said it was good.
Brain Freeze, yeah, I think that's their best flavor. Their mango's good too. But like I said, they're the best national juice brand I've tried.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't we see them in Tulsa like way back when we launched Poe? Weren't they like brand?
Yeah, they were new.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
They marketed really well because there was like that naked drink brand. And they kind of took. Basically, they made juices that tasted like those naked juices that I had. So I thought that was neat. But yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, they're definitely the best.
I don't know, Stu. What up, Stu? By the way, he's just said comb the desert. I can't not think of Spaceballs when I think about that.
I was thinking of Israel.
Shit.
I was thinking of that. I was thinking of something more classical, like the Israelites in Jericho.
Oh, well, I suppose. I was thinking of the black Spaceball guy with a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Classic.
that's great.
What up, Sheck? Have I ever had Premium Labs juice from Canada? I've not, Joel.
Is it premium?
Apparently. It's in the name, man.
It's in the name.
I have I have to be honest. I am pretty certain I haven't vaped anything but my stuff, my two, and Railcracker in probably 2 years. Like, it's been a long time since I didn't vape those 3 flavors.
Yeet.
I need to order some piss. That's what I need. I've just been snowdrift and Juul potting. That's basically been the summer for me.
Yeah.
Snowdrift is so good. Speaking of which, I'm seeing its creator tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell the Biggles I said what up. Give him a little high five or something.
Will do. Because where he lives, they've got like all the farmers markets and all the fresh fucking Honeycrisp apples. So last time I was out there last year when I was getting apples, dude, they were literally dumped. Like there was a forklift in the store dumping them into like the crate. They just washed them. They just washed them, and dude, they were ice fucking cold.
That's the way to eat them.
Dude,
yeah.
Mr. fucking Keto, who has dreams of eating fruit. I'm sitting there in the front seat. I'm just like, I'm like, pick out, dude. I was making a mess. It was so juicy. I had like apple juice in my beard and shit. It was so good.
Right,
and I was like looking at them like, don't you wish you could eat?
Oh, so the reason Stu brought that up, he said that's what Naked 100 started out as, Schwartz, the Spaceballs e-liquid.
I juicified the fuck out of them. That's funny.
That was the same company? I didn't know that.
Wow, so they jacked less swag that time around. Whatever, man. They made a good product. The Schwartz, though, was fucking gross. They really made all the fucking yogurt flavors and shit, and I know the theme, but yogurt vapes were not good, ever.
No.
Matt Cully tried to get me on yogurt vapes, and I straight up told him then, I said, you're going to hate this shit in 3 months. And
yeah. No, I remember trying some of them, and they were, tangy and something a little bit different for sure. They weren't the cloying sweet thing that you almost always get. But it was definitely like weird and tangy and not something I stuck with for more than a few drags.
Tangy.
The Schwartz. May it be.
Should I order a third bottle of Brain Freeze to get free shipping? $50 free shipping.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't let you pick up your order from their warehouse anymore. So that was sad. I found that out this morning.
Now, speaking of tangy, and Stu just did join. I still haven't forgiven you for the hamburger pickle one, by the way. That's still terrible. It's lodged somewhere deep in my sinuses. I'm sure it's still some of that garbage.
Yuck.
By the way, nobody commented on the new starting soon screen. Here, hold on.
I think everyone assumed we were going to be late anyway.
No.
Yeah, and they don't give me an option to say that my billing address is the same as my shipping address. I got to type everything in twice.
Oh, come on now.
Like, I'm only looking to willing to look past it because they're from Queens. So
What? Eddie said he makes a pickle honey yogurt mix. Oh God! No part of that sounds good.
oh, dude, you know what I miss most? One of the things I miss most about my old neighborhood is the fucking pickles I get from the grocery store that was right by my old house.
Oh, there's like local
I
pickles.
I can't get them anywhere else, dude. I think I need to make a stop tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right, Addy. The old metal thing. So I asked Sean earlier this week. I was like, "Hey, if you ever get a sec, just slap together like with existing art, like just slap together something like a starting soon because of the way we have to start the show now. I had just been using a black screen, and it would be cool if we had a real like a real one." He's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So he found the old metal Hooligans thing, which I thought was cool because we very rarely use that. I think we've only used it a couple of times. Oh, that's what I tried. Sport. Oh, okay, thanks, Stu. Great. So I tried your terrible honey pickle yogurt thing. It was. I'd say it tasted like a pickle. Ooh. So, Mark, I have been seeing you UK folks going on about the G&T, which is interesting to me. I'm not sure it sounds good. But it does sound interesting for sure. Have you seen any of that, Foo?
What's that?
There's a few of the I think mostly English guys that I've been seeing talk about it, but I say UK in general because I've seen Hellfire talk about it and that kind of thing. But it's gin and tonic. There's a brand that had put out a G&T e-liquid that people are really freaking out about.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't decide if it sounds good or not. Like, because I like gin and tonics, I like to drink.
I do too, but I don't want to vape them.
I'm not sure if I want to vape them or not, but
like, because you know what I want if I'm drinking a gin and tonic? I want a minty vape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Ruby Root did vape pairings for a reason because you shouldn't vape what you're drinking. It's not going to be the same. Like, that's why I never wanted a cola vape because I'm like, give me some cold fusion, right? Let's figure that out how to do cold fusion.
Yeah.
And give me a cool temperatured vape of a Coke because who the fuck drinks a warm Coke?
Right.
I know you'll.
I will. I don't like it.
I know you'll lick Coke off of your driveway if it's the last you have.
I'm just gonna say, I'll just go ahead and cop to it. If there's a Diet Coke that's been sitting out like half full, like a bottle that's half full, and it's been sitting out, I'll probably still drink it.
Dude,
I'm too cheap to throw it away.
I get that, but even me, I'll pour coffee in the sink if it's past expiration. It's been sitting out for too long.
Yeah. No, if it goes flat, if it's flat and warm, yeah, even I'll throw that out.
Dude, okay. I fell asleep watching TV the other day. I was watching something here in bed, and I had like a half full seltzer. It was still fizzy after sitting out open for a couple hours. I woke up. I was like, wake up all discombobulated. I see the can. I'm like, ooh, nice. Like this one. This can's been open for almost 2 hours. It's still bubbly.
Still got a little zing to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mark, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the offer. I'll consider it. Seltzer is bubblier than Diet Coke, though. So there's that. Yeah. I think they do a pretty angry job of carbonating that stuff. Faux show. Yeah, Festy, it seems like here in the States, well, I mean, let's just for the moment, we'll just forget about all the lawsuit junk and bans junk going on. But even before that, it seemed like a lot of, at least the places that I shop, they tend to just make their own juice. Like, they don't do a whole lot of, like, importing other things, unless you go to, like, a brick-and-mortar shop. If you go to a brick-and-mortar shop, obviously they've got a lot of stuff there, too. But I haven't been inside of a brick-and-mortar shop in probably 4 years, so... Oh, wow. My age is getting verified to high hell right now. What's getting verified? My age. Well done. This is the first proper age verification I've done is MBS. I'm not counting Juul, because Juul has access to federal databases, my dude. I don't doubt it. How do I know this? I tried to make an account with the dead person's info. They knew.
They asked to verify. They asked to submit a copy of photo ID when they never asked for mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What up, Addy? Or what up, Lando? Sorry. Hey, Giz is asking what you're working on, Massey.
Trying to find a power supply for my Raspberry Pi.
Oh.
What is it? A 9-volt?
No, it is a Pi 4, so it's USB-C. So I had it in here somewhere.
So Mark, I don't know that that'll ever happen. If you're not reading chat, he does say, "I wonder if America gets real bad if some companies will relocate to Europe to manufacture."
Nope.
I can't imagine anybody doing that.
That's expensive, man.
It's expensive.
It is. It's very
Because you have to like
expensive.
register your business in another country. You have to fly all your shit over there. You know, it's just
Right. Yeah, that would be tough. That'd be tough to justify, business wise. Festi, I do see Topo Chico all over the place for sure. Yeah. I kind of have always seen it. Is that a new thing? You're asking if we're still on that kick. I see it all the time, but I have never actually consumed one. I don't know if it's any good. I can give no recommendations.
consuming a what?
Topo Chico. They do that down there, Massey?
What's that?
It's like some Hispanic bubbly something or another. TOPOCHICO. Is that
You talking about like the soda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have it down there.
Surely that's not a Texas thing.
No, yeah. Yeah, they have it on different colors.
Yeah, does it touch Jarritos though?
Jarritos.
Does it touch an orange Jarritos?
I'm not sure.
Is it flavored, Massey? Is it like Sprite? I've never had it.
It's flavored. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had it, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Why
I've
the
seen
fuck
it.
my subtotal is $50.85, and you're still charging me shipping, even though it should be free.
What?
You know what? I'm going to place my order, and then I'm going to complain via email. Can you please refund me the goddamn shipping?
They gotta get that money, man.
Dude, it's going to take literally. If they send it out tomorrow, it'll be at my place Saturday. It's within the same fucking borough.
So Mark's not talking about physically locating your business over there. He's talking about working with manufacturers over there, sending them your recipe.
Oh, outsourcing.
That I could see it outsourcing.
That makes sense. Yeah,
for sure. Addie said that a couple are going out of New Zealand via LabWorks. I guess. I wonder if it's all run by little hobbits. Maybe.
Probably. Probably true.
Yeah, Giz, we talked about that a lot last week. In fact, we had one of the longest shows we've done in recent memory last week with Alex, talking all about horrible government overreach. And I don't know that there's much new. I talked briefly earlier about some of the new stuff that's going down, all the new lawsuits and stuff going out, but I don't know how much more there is to talk about at the moment. I did see... yeah, Rick, John, if you're talking about John Martin, I think he is a hobbit, yeah. I did see that I just totally lost my train of thought. I got distracted thinking about John Martin as a hobbit living in a little hole. Oh boy, I have no idea what I was talking about. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. We also kind of went into wondering how long the current outrage is going to last, if we're going to get advocacy burnout again. Massey raised the point that that stakes are higher this time, so maybe it'll last longer.
Yeah,
which I think is valid.
That, and then plus also like actual like pushback from non-vapers as opposed to before.
Yeah, this might sound weird. And I haven't fully formulated this thought yet, so I'm just going to kind of spill it and do a little flow of thought thing. You ready? Obviously, we had a large push for weeks of super negative bad press. People either willfully or voluntarily, anyway, passing on bad information, conflating THC and nicotine vaping and all that sort of stuff, right? But that said, then we did have a small wave of people starting to actually get it, and thanks to, in part, people like Alex, people like I just went totally blank. Greg Connolly, getting out there, getting on these these morning shows, CNBC, C-SPAN, all these different things, right? Getting on there and talking about things. Speaking of which, I have got to go find that GIF. If you haven't seen it, it is priceless. I will go find that in a minute. It's almost like no press is bad press.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are at least getting that conversation out there now that previously 90% of the people, maybe more, of the people that I talked to had no idea what vaping was. And they just saw something coming out and they just assumed you were smoking. Or if they saw it was one of them newfangled e-cigarettes, or something, right? They just didn't even know what it was. And now at least they're talking about it, even if they're wrong. And even if they're making bad policy about it, in some ways, I wonder if it's kind of like a little bit of a silver lining. Tobacco has the strongest foothold in PA, and really?
Oh, in terms of like lobby, Tim was talking about how they're trying to push a flavor ban in Ohio. I'm like, that'll happen like that.
You think it's even more so than like Virginia and like North Carolina and stuff?
In terms of consumption, to PA and Ohio are at number 1 and 2 in tobacco
right?
consumption. Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Actually, no, I think PA may be number 2, but PA is number 1 in dip in snus consumption.
No kidding.
It's cray. My Enjoy coworker who had Ohio in his region, he was just like, dude, it's because if you remember, there were like 2 malls in PA that I was able to vape in. That's how much influence they have.
Wow.
Yeah. Basically, like I was in that bumfuck Hazleton Mall in PA, and someone's like, oh, you can thank this woman at the smoke shop I was at. She's like, oh, you can thank these companies for, us being able to smoke in the mall. I'm like, cool. I mean, it's cool I can vape in the mall, but I'm like too accustomed to drinking coffee and sitting on my phone while I'm smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, Fessy, I can't argue with that. You're right. The vaping kills you on the 1,000-watt system, and wait, it's just the THC thing was on a 1960s transistor. I mean, yes, I don't disagree. It's not as obviously widely covered as the other, but I have been able to engage a lot of people that don't smoke or vape because they have heard about it and they know that I do. So they've been more interested in actually talking about it recently. And I'm talking about in like the last 2 weeks. All of a sudden these people were like talking to me. In fact, one guy was a coworker. He hit me a message, sent me a message on Slack because we were bored in a conference call. And he's like, shot me a message on Slack. He goes, so they're banning vaping. How do you feel about that? I was like, well, here's the thing about that, man. So I gave him the whole
tell you.
riot act, and he goes, man, that's really interesting. I hadn't thought about that. And he, like I said, he doesn't do any vaping or smoking, and never has. I don't think is any of it.
Rick mentioned PA's governor does think a vape is good. Yeah, that's fine and dandy until tobacco lobby goes and shows him photos of him having an affair with his wife and be like, they're killing our kids.
Yep, that or here's a few $1 million.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like you're in that high a position of power, you lose your backbone.
So Eddie said, how sad is it that NBC has to track down and break news when our own government couldn't or wouldn't? I don't know. To me, that feels normal, right? I don't expect the government to track down, pretty kind of cracking, not bleeding edge at this point, but it's definitely, still on the upswing of tech as far as most people are concerned, as far as most smokers are concerned. I wouldn't expect the government to do so. Now, the problem is they were already passing laws not understanding it, but that's never stopped them before about any other tech stuff, right? You've got, ancient decrepit ass, senators passing laws on the interwebs that they have no idea how to use a computer. The computer was brand new when they were in their 50s.
Or you have a former congressman who didn't grow up on the internet sending dick pics on Twitter when he doesn't know how Twitter works.
Exactly.
True.
Like if you were born in a certain year, you're just not cut out for deviant shit on the internet, right? It's going to be like our generation that's going to know how burners work. You know what I mean?
Right. This is how to make a fake account.
This is how you do hood rat shit.
Right. So I mean, I don't know. So to me, I would expect investigative, journalists to be hopefully in an ideal world, chasing down the real shit, and figuring out real information to get out to people, right? Hopefully, and again, in an ideal world without political slant on it, which
A
we
girl
all know
can dream.
a girl can dream. That's right. More so than the government, but then again, we also live in the real world, and our media has definitely got their own biases. Each network has got their own biases, and the government has no problem passing laws.
We can't stop ourselves from vaping at city council.
Right. And our representatives as vapors are vaping in city council.
Not even represent just regular people who are like coming out to oppose a flavor ban. It's like, yeah, we're gonna do the very thing that's annoying the shit out of people right in their faces. Great,
Yep.
bold strategy. Cotton wick.
Yeah. So there's that. Hey, Foo, what are you vaping on? We're an hour in. We might as well do that.
Hour? Come on, we're like 30 minutes in.
Hey, we're 53 minutes and 45 seconds. I got a timer now.
Don't discount my quick maths.
Yeah, my bad.
I got a snowdrift on the Jack Vapor, which is continuing to lose finish, as I predicted.
Yeah.
Male pattern baldness. Even the finish is coming off the battery cover. I love it.
It's not even flaking; it's just rubbing off.
Well, like I said, I knew this is what. Like when I held it, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
Shit. There's snowdrift in here. This cotton is like 3 weeks old. Not gonna lie. Yeah, and
wow.
Got a mango pod finally. I have a lot more on the way. And mint is part of the fucking ban, and I totally overlooked that.
Yep.
Because anyone who's tried the menthol Juul pods, they're fucking ass.
Yeah, the mint's better for sure.
Like, how do you fuck up a menthol pod? Right. Menthol tobacco? How do you fuck that up?
This Stu just said Sanjay Gupta can answer all of my vaping questions. Great.
Oh God.
What did you say that week? Sanjay Gupta is brown like I'm brown.
Okay, yeah, no. I'm browner than he is. Let's be honest. He said. I think he's brown like we're a vape show. Something like that.
There you go.
He probably thinks black pepper is spicy at this point in life.
That's probably true. This week I have been mostly vaping on my Limelight Freehand Bliss with a RAM board inside. Inside of there is, of course, Railcracker. Get yours today, not at derailmentvape.co, but at Bigglesworth Labs. It's straight on his Bigglesworth main site nowadays. And then also, I rebuilt and have been vaping on. Where did it go? There it is. My billet box. So my RPG, my royal purple gray billet box, and inside of Mia, you might recognize that as the Haku Zeta with a Owen tip on top, just like my other one, of course. And inside of here, I did not put, when I re-wicked, instead of re-wicking for abolishment, I re-wicked and put Mia. Get pissed. Because you should get pissed and talk to your representatives. I haven't vaped pissed out of the Zeta yet. I've just been beta testing with abolishment. And by the way,
what was that ball fondling you just did there? What was that?
Just so good. No ball fondling. Although I haven't been vaping for a long time. We all know that happens. What I did see a comment a while back on, and this was a few weeks ago. I think I posted it in Slack that John Nathan said something about vaping on his way into Best Buy, and a Best Buy employee was outside smoking, and the Best Buy employee and Nathan or John caught eyes as they were going in, and he said, "I bet both of you, each of us, were thinking, hey, that guy's killing himself." That was the gist of his post, and the first comment underneath it was, "No, I bet what the guy was thinking is he was thinking about asking you out on a date."
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I about fell over laughing.
That's hilarious.
Does this billet box have a USB? No, it doesn't have a USB. It just has a battery. You take the battery out, and then you put the other battery in. You know, what do you need a USB for? I'm not doing any stupid temperature limiting garbage in here. Just
I want a custom theme and e-scroll.
Yeah, don't need that stuff. What does my watch say? Oh, neat. So that's that. I did get some mail this week. The first thing that I got was one of these boxes. If you've been around here for a minute, you should know what one of these boxes were. And I get to talk about last week because we had other things to talk about. Ace said, "Enjoy your Gloomtum." Can't believe you even wrote Gloomtum on my box. That's disgusting. Disgusting. But inside of here is my Gloom. Yay! He's back. He's back from his trip to the spa, and it is. I mean, it looks brand new. And so Ace commented, he's like, "Man, it's really amazing that he can make things look brand new again." And I started looking at this thing. I'm like, I don't think he made this new again. I think he just made another one. I think he just sent a new one with the same serial number on it. I really think so, because I had some pretty good dings on this thing, and they're not there anymore. I think he just sent another one. So thank you, Ace, for coordinating that. Thank you, obviously, Dayon, for having a lifetime warranty, and even outside of warranty, having service that I can send it back in and get my shit fixed. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to using it.
Oh!
You know why? One of the other reasons why I think it's probably new is because when I got it, my PO button has still got the safety seal on it. You see that? I haven't even pulled it off yet.
Got a chair wheel that caught the toe.
Oh!
Ouch.
I bet you that didn't feel good.
I'm gonna go walk it up to the fridge while I get another beer.
Oh, it was a clone joke. Sorry, Sporky. My bad, Stu. I thought you were talking, because there are several modders out there that do the retro conversions or whatever to have a USB in it and that kind of thing. And yeah, there are several clones out there that also have that kind of thing. Yeah. Nasty. When was the last time you vaped?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I don't think you've vaped in a minute.
No, I just, weed myself off.
Yeah.
And, now it doesn't sound like too bad of an idea.
For sure.
So, yeah.
So one of the
it got to the point. It got to the point to where I didn't really want to do it too late in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it just, and I had this conversation with Chuff about it, because that's the same thing he did. He finally was like, what am I doing? Why am I down at, 0 for this or whatever, just, I want to stop. So,
and he still has it around in the event that he wants to, because it's, better than having a cigarette. Yeah. And he said that after he stopped vaping and he started doing his super athlete shit, he's like, vaping does affect your lungs a tiny bit. Nothing like insane, because, we still know it's a calculated risk, but
right.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, it's something you have to notice by eliminating it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That has been an interesting part of several of the conversations that I've had with non-smoker, non-vapors recently about this thing too, is they were asking about the viability of a cessation method. And I was like, man, it's so viable. And the reason I know that is my body made me step down and nick every single time.
Sure.
Until I'm at 3, and I've been at 3 for years at this point. But the thing is now I've been at 3 for so long, if I happen to forget my mod at home, it doesn't matter. Like I'm
It's not a
okay
big
with
deal.
it. When
Yeah.
I come home, yeah, I want a few drags. When I come home after dinner, yeah, I probably want a couple drags, but I don't have to have it anymore. And that
Yeah.
was never the case with cigarettes.
And that aside, like I started using a Juul, and that shit's like, salt, 30, 50 milligram, whatever. I still have this, I still feel the same way in that, like, if I go to, like, if I'm going out to go, like, grocery shop or something, I forget it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm totally fine. Whether it's 3 milligram of vaping, 6 milligram, 30, 50, whatever. It's all here, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It's all here. And I'm not going to go down to zero because zero fucking sucks. I already tried doing zero under, low key, and
that's why I'm.
My brain knows.
For the exact same reason. First of all, I like a little pick you up in the morning, a little caffeine, a little nick.
Yeah.
But again, if I walk out the door, and it's happened actually a bunch of times lately, I'll walk out the door to run to the grocery store or whatever it is, and I'll realize there that man, I forgot my mod. I'll get it when I get home.
Castello, good point. He says, I raised my nick with every shot of whiskey. Dude, I got drunk on Friday, dude. I sucked down an entire mint pod that night.
Oh, absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm sure.
50 milligram, bruh.
Damn, son.
I bet.
Yo, I was drinking beer and it's just like, I was like, pull, you bitch.
Were you missing your big old lung hitter?
No, I mean, this did the job. That the mint hit me, but it's just like you can only. This is like why I'd crush a pack of smokes the night of the bar,
right?
Because there comes a point where it's like I smoke 3 cigarettes and I still don't feel a thing.
Sure.
And I may have been running the pool table for an hour and a half because it's a bar table, and bar tables are easy.
Man, I haven't played pool in so long. I used to play every week.
My first 3 games, I was ass, and then once the beer kicked in,
you gotta get the right beer.
The bar was getting crowded, and like the booze was setting in. I just had the tunnel vision, man. I didn't do it because it was just like, and plus it was only $1 a game.
Yeah, Duro, for sure. Mod goes where I go. That's why I was for many years until lately. For whatever reason, a few times I've forgotten it, and it's been okay. And that never used to be the case. I mean, pack of smokes and a lighter was everywhere I went. Everywhere I went. Mod was everywhere I went for years and years. And then lately, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And I've said this before. I'm not getting uppity and doing vape advocacy and doing this show and all that stuff. I'm not really doing it for me. I'm doing it for the next smoker that wants to put down smoking, right? That's why I'm still here. Mm-hmm. It's not for me. Yeah. Is anybody here from Candy anymore? Yeah, Addie. She's still. I still see her posts on Facebook. I don't see her posting on about vaping anymore. It's almost always yelling about Trump.
She went and retired and she's like living in Hawaii. She's like doing her thing. Yeah. She moved to Hawaii. I was just like, wow, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I've known a few people too that just up and pulled up roots and went to Hawaii. Yeah.
Property there is like, not all the property there is expensive. You can get cheap property there. It's just the fact that just the cost of living out there is absurd.
For sure, it is absurd. And to be honest, there's some ghetto ass places in Hawaii, man. Like for sure.
Dude, there's an observatory in Hawaii that I'd like to go to at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2-hour drive up a mountain and you're above the clouds.
I've been up to one of those mountains. The one in Maui, you're definitely above the clouds. That thing is that volcano is huge.
Yeah. Which observatory is it?
I'm curious about which one you're talking about because the one that I've been to is up
the
there.
The Keck Observatory.
The what?
It's the Keck Observatory is about elevation of almost 4,150 meters near the summit of Mauna Kea.
There you go.
That is dope. So it's like, yeah, that's as good a view as you can get.
Yeah, talk about no light pollution, right?
Yeah, 13,600 feet above ground you are.
Which is pretty amazing considering you're on a tiny island.
Nah, dude, I want to I'm not big time enough to go there. I'd love to go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Eddie. Absolutely good Faux show. So I had that come in. I also had one of these things come in. It has a funny thing on the back. Look at those little dots.
Ooh.
It's basically like my 10. It's just faster. Now, granted, the camera is pretty cool. I have messed with.
You got a Mickey Mouse on the back.
A little Mickey Mouse in the back. What? Mickey Mouse in the back?
Did you get
the Mickey Mouse in the back. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, the telephoto thing's pretty cool. The fact that it's stainless is cool. I did cave and buy one this year for that reason, for the durability factor and the fact that I needed a backup point anyway. Pretty cool. I did cameras.
S7 still rocking. Moderately cracked screen.
Moderately, just slightly cracked screen.
Dude, it was the first time I ever cracked a screen. It was sad. I've never broken a phone before.
Has all the cameras for years.
So I had one for all of 10 days when the Wi-Fi stopped working. So I returned it, and Samsung decided to end their sale and not honor the price I paid for it. So I was like, "Fuck you guys! I'm not paying MSRP for that."
Ooh.
So I went back to my 7. And I bought the international version too because it was an emerald green. That also hurt because that one looks tight.
The new 11 Pros have a green. It looks cool.
I was literally looking at it like an hour before you made the show.
Yeah.
I was looking at getting that, and I'm like, damn, that green is nice.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. So I think I may have mentioned on the show, last year was the first year I did not buy an iPhone. I bought every single generation, the maxed out whatever from every generation until last year because I was like, it wasn't even an incremental upgrade. To me, it was barely an upgrade at all from the 10. I was like, why? Why am I going to drop $1,000 on a phone that I don't care about? Then my 10 works great.
Oh,
what do you
still
think?
Rocking? That phone's like a year and a half old.
What do you think everything? What do you think everything up to the brand new phone being able to be rooted if you get a hold of it? See that? Yeah, you can get into the phone via root if you can get a hold of the phone. You just plug a normal wire into it. It's got a chip on it, and it gives you full access to it. It's pretty cool.
What?
Yeah, it affects every phone except for the 11s, I believe. Yeah, I'll send you a link on it.
Interesting.
Yep, it's a vulnerability in the ROM on the boot.
No kidding.
So hardware. Yeah.
So I have actually used a piece of software to get access like that, like file system access to grab photos and stuff like that off of old phones.
Sure.
I have done that for a while. I had to use it several different times to recover some things off of like a phone that I've already inactivated, and for whatever reason I was having a hard time getting stuff off of there quickly. Like I could have just gotten off of there, slowly syncing up to Dropbox or something, right? But I wanted to get stuff off faster. I am surprised that it's still going, to be honest, because it's been years since I had to do that. Interesting.
Here's a nice little Tom's guide in side chat.
One kind of phone is silly. I don't disagree, Duro. It is a lot of money, and the interesting thing about it, and I say interesting in a bohica kind of way, right? It seems like for many years, whatever phone whatever camp you're in, right? Android, Apple, Nokia, whatever, right? When you're up for an upgrade, you could either go through one of their easy wizard style pick one of these phones and go, or you could get one of their other phones and basically get like a $200 discount, right, by re-signing another contract. And I don't think any of them do that anymore. At least not AT&T. Now you have to either buy it unlocked for a god awful amount of money, or you have to use one of their basically lease programs where you turn it in. At the end.
I ain't about that.
Huh?
I ain't about leasing phones.
Yeah.
I've always been a proponent of the unlocked phone because I hate carrier specific phones because they have their own bullshit on them.
Yep. So on this,
for sure, absolutely.
On this, it goes all the way up to an iPhone X. So the brand new ones, it's not affected. Okay. But some of the things on there that you can do is you can boot to any iOS version, past, present, or future, without any SSH or APT tickets. If you know, anyways, and you can boot to any OS, for example, Android. Fucking run Android, and it says the compromised by an attacker with physical access to your phone, but still requires a password or brute force for the private data. So, but yeah,
that is
cool shit.
I was saying in chat, I didn't have a smartphone until 2014, so I'm still having fun with it, if you will.
Sure.
Honestly, the cost of the phones is just unbelievable.
It's out of control. I mean, it's really, really expensive, especially after you buy.
And you know what?
But you buy one phone, and it should last you 3 years, 4 years.
But
right?
I'll say this. I'll say this. Fuck Apple, because all the other companies said, look at all these thickens that are paying $1,000 for a phone. Well, guess what? We're gonna fucking charge $1,000 for our phone. And look at all these other thickens that went out and paid the same.
That's what I mean, though. That's
yep.
It's like me and my brother have this conversation all the time about like New York City. If you had 50% of New York City residents that are renting just collectively just said, fuck it, I'm not paying this rent, you could force the price to go down, but everyone's too big, too much of a schmuck to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. It was the same thing with iPhones. Like if they did something that upset their user base hard enough and everyone started like not buying them. But iPhone users, they need their crack.
Yep.
They do.
So it sounds like a lot of the chat kind of agrees with this, right? It's been iterative updates in general most of the time. Now, I did skip a generation there. I skipped the XR or whatever it was last year. And I can say between the 10 and the 11 and the 11 Pro anyway, there's a pretty huge difference in the camera stuff in general. Like and
that's really it. That's the only reason why I want a new phone.
Yeah. But
only reason why I need a new phone. Because all my apps run fine, except for Google Maps, because Google Maps makes you feel like your phone is obsolete very quickly.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason why I need. Because I was taking some pictures at the concert I was at Friday, and I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, this thing still takes like some of the best daylight photos, but low light, that's what I need.
I also have to say the display on this, as good as the 10 is, this was really good. It's really, really easy to read. It's really sharp. It's really, really fine. Between those two things, I really do think that those are pretty much the only difference between the 10 and the 11 Pro. I mean, if you went from the 10 to even the regular 11, I don't even know if I'd even bother, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Don't bother with it.
Because basically, I'm either going to get the 11 Pro or the Note 10.
Yeah.
They're pretty equivalent performance-wise. So
yeah, that's what I've been told. I haven't spent a significant amount of time. I messed with it a little bit, but I haven't spent like a lot of time in Android in the last couple of years. But I do know it's gotten a lot better. In my opinion, the gap has been closed between Apple and Android. But I think in terms of Samsung has been the most consistent product, the most consistent Android phone that's been out. That's why when I went from having the Google flagship phones, which had a lot of inherent problems with them, at least during the Nexus series, when I went to a Samsung, I'm like, it was so much less bullshit that I had to deal with. And it was nice. For sure. Vic said we're spending that Patreon vape influencer cash on phones.
Shit, I wish. You think if I was a proper vape influencer, I'd be touting this around? Mm-hmm. Shit.
Absolutely.
No. Can't suffer from adpocalypse if you were never monetized.
That's right. Tim just said Microsoft just announced some stupidly huge foldable phone.
They're making
one a while back?
They did. Yeah. Samsung's like, we're gonna be the bad guy for making the first shitty foldable phone, right? Because the first one was gonna be bad.
Yeah.
So Microsoft is making one. I was actually talking about this with Dong Magnum prior to coming in here, and they're making. Microsoft finally learned. They're like, hey, our mobile OS was kind of shit. Why don't we make a phone and make it Android based?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's what they're doing.
They're making it. They've totally given up on Windows Phone thing.
I think they're doing their own custom like Android OS.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense. What was I watching? I was watching Jerry Riggett, that YouTube video channel that does basically like abuse on phones. Like he tears apart phones, shows how to fix things, how to take things apart, replace batteries, that kind of thing. He took apart that new Samsung foldable guy or whatever, and just wrecked it.
It's not a great phone.
He took like a teaspoon, like a tiny little teaspoon of dirt, and just put it on the screen and closed it just to see if it would, what would happen in your pocket over time, right? And it was like there was a magnet into the joints on the edges. So as soon as he did that, he closed it and opened it and then dumped it out and then closed it again and goes like it made this worse noise. It was so bad.
Oh my god!
And then of course he does it several times right over the mic.
For all the ASMR bitches.
Oh,
that's such a satisfying sound.
Yeah, no, it was enough to make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It was bad.
That's all world hungry, you bitches.
Oh man. Okay, so that was the mail I got this week. I think that's all I got, man. It's been a long day. My head hurts. I think I'm gonna go watch a show.
Today was one of like the first day in a while where I took an unexpected nap, and it was fucking nice. Because it was fucking hot today, and I didn't realize I walked a shit ton this afternoon, and I got home, and next thing I knew it was 6 p.m. I woke up, and I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?"
You just passed out. You got.
Well, the first thing was the first thing was I looked at my phone to make sure I didn't sleep through the fucking show. I knew I wasn't that tired.
Vic just said, "Hot take: Microsoft's quietly become a decent hardware maker." I would tend to disagree, and here's why. I have thought that Microsoft makes the best keyboards on the market for years. That was the case. Every other keyboard that I tried was shit compared to the ergonomic natural wave keyboard. I loved that keyboard. I bought several of them over the years.
Okay. I have to disagree with Vic here. While I have used the Surface, and while it does perform beautifully, over half the Surface users that I know have had to warranty their shit within 6 months. They have a great warranty on them, but that's the thing. They are that shit breaks hard, and they make it impossible for you to repair yourself. That's completely separate, but I don't like that inconvenience of having to warrant. Like, I love a good warranty, great, but I have
sent like 3 or 4 of them back, and one just came back, and the fucking battery is. This is a Surface Pro, okay, so it's the second. They're about a year and a half old, 2 years old. First of all, that fucking button, you look at it wrong and you push the button. So when you have them encrypted, for example, using something like an endpoint protection, and there's encryption on it as soon as you boot, here's the problem. You touch that button, that screen's going to fucking stay on. It's not going to go back to sleep. Because this encryption's before any of the fucking BIOS or anything else. So guess what? Anyone touches that button that's in your backpack, it's going to run until it fucking overheats or the battery dies. Problem number 1. No way to cover that button. Problem number 2 is there's definitely an issue with the battery on those things. Like, it just, after a while, it just turns to shit. So they're nice. They work great, but
what was I going to say? So Microsoft Surface, if anyone who watches football here, they marketed like fucking hell because they're the sponsor for the NFL.
Yes. Because
instead of using whiteboards, everyone uses Surfaces. You know how many times I've seen coaches throw them because they weren't working on the sideline? It's like you'll see coaches like going like this, like because they have like the plays and shit on there, and you're trying to show the quarterback like this is why you're a dumb fuck, and this is why you threw an interception.
So I haven't tried to use the Surface or the Surface Pros, but
it's dope when they're working. They're great.
I was talking about the keyboard specifically. Okay. So back in the day, yes, their optical mouse, that IntelliMouse, was a great mouse. And I got
a 3 sitting in my spares box.
Yeah, you do. The split natural keyboard, when that came out, I loved that keyboard. I used it.
It was
forever.
Good. I hated it just because for the fact of getting used to it. I was staying at my buddy's place for a couple of days. I go back to my regular keyboard. And I'm like,
yeah, what the fuck? Yeah. It is. There's totally a curve to getting used to it because it is weird. For sure. Didn't even mean to do that, but that is. But once you do, it was so comfortable, and I've had a hard time finding a keyboard that I like ever since. Actually, you know what? Look at this. This is the one I'm using right now. Look at that right there.
I got a Logitech mechanical at my desk at work. It's lovely. The same one you got, Masty.
Mm.
Yeah, boy.
No,
Nice.
Because before that, I was using I still like have my Apple keyboard as a backup. But going from my Apple keyboard to typing on Cherry keyboard. I have a Cherry Blacks. It's a workout when I get home.
Stu did just mention the Model M, by the way. I used to mud. You know, if anybody's old enough here to know what a mud is, text-based RPG, basically, right? Only interface there is just all text. It's like a command prompt. It's like you're playing a game at a Unix prompt. Is kind of what it is, right?
Oh my god, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So back in the mid late '90s, I used to mud, and at my job, I had a job at school programming websites, and when I was bored, I would totally get on my mud, and it sounded like a friggin' just a rattle trap crazy because I was in there going. On a Model M, on an IBM Model M, just
yep.
And they thought I was working so hard. I wasn't working hard.
Enhance.
Yeah, man, that was I would love to have that particular keyboard. That would be great if I could go back to school and find that keyboard. It's probably still in the closet somewhere.
The Model M is a great keyboard. However, what is it not great for? Gaming.
Oh, I'm sure.
Fucking terrible.
I'm sure. Yes, absolutely. Visit your mom. That's what I'm talking about. That natural ergo. I had the 1000, and that thing went. It actually, when I eventually replaced it, it was the one that was like a board, like it was just giant thing. PS2, of course, plug, and it turned yellow. It was so old after so many years. Like the whole thing, like the plastic started degrading, and it kind of turned yellow. I was like, all right, probably time to replace this. But then you couldn't find a full size one anywhere. All the newer ones, like I think it was the 2 and 3000, they only came down in the cut down version. So like all the function keys were real small, and the arrow keys were in fricked up locations, and the keypad, the 10 key wasn't in the right spot. Anyway, it was a pain in the ass. You technically met your wife on Monday. Well done, Vic. All right. Good. There's somebody that feels me. Yes. When the internet was young. All right. Okay. We just got totally off on a tangent. This has got nothing to do with anything. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it. I had a great time tonight.
I realize his name is Vids of your mom.
Yeah, definitely time to go. We'll see you guys next week. We'll probably talk about vaping. Some. If there's anything to talk about.
Maybe not. Hey, fuck you.
It could be all illegal. We could be criminals next week.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, we could banter and drink and vape flavored liquid you can't get your hands on. That's
right. You thought
this is where the big time really kicks in.
That's right. You thought the mods are bad. Now we're gonna have e-liquid. Nobody else can have some.
Mm-hmm.
Later, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.